So when we talk about the architecture, here we have the user application. So generally what happens is whenever we talk about the architecture of the file system, basically the physical hardware we talk about, let's say the hard disk or the mouse or the kind of motherboard. So whatever may be the hardware that will be actually talking to the file system, that is with respect to the operating system, that is through the feature called drivers. So these drivers will act as an intermediate or the layer to actually to have an understanding between the hardware as well as the uh, kind of operating system. So we have a basic kind of drivers which are available on the hardware that has a linkage with the basic file system, which also part of the logical file system. Then this will have an interaction with the user application. So whenever the user, let's say we open a browser or some kind of thing, then that will be talking to the underlying file system. Then it will actually talk to the driver. Then it will be dealing or communicating with the other hardware. So the special features with respect to the file system, they include the various type of kind of thing like the archiving with respect to the zipping, or we have other archive, we have digital signatures, we have error correction codes with respect to hardware, and also we may be having encryption kind of things. So these features, they will be a kind of interfaces with respect to kind of plugins or with respect to the main file system. That is where we are talking about the logical file system. So these are kind of features that are available, which will be talking again to the main file system. So the main file system generally have this hierarchy of the storing of files, directories, and these plugins will be implemented on this file system to achieve the kind of behavior or the kind of efficiency we want with respect to accessing. So generally, when we talk about the directory in most of the operating system, we call it as a folder where it contains other files or directories inside it. So all the metadata with respect to the file size, the date created, the last modified, or the last accessed. So the directory structures, everything will be applied to the files inside those directories. So this is how the comparison is there with respect to different file systems. Now, maybe if this table is smaller in visibility, then I'll try to explain this. So now let's say I think the file system again differs with respect to the kind of maximum file name length or the kind of allowable directory entries or the maximum kind of file size or the maximum kind of volume size, the case sensitivity application or the kind of encryption that is supported, and with respect to the kind of transparency on the compression and what kind of operating systems that are supported. So the file system will be varied or defined based on all these parameters. Now, if we talk about some of the file systems, like if we talk about the default kind of encryption, if we talk about FAT32, there will be no default encryption that is available. But with respect to NTFS or with respect to the kind of NTFS, we have the default kind of encryption that are available. So based on this kind of parameters, the file system actually varies. And also, if we talk about the maximum file size, with respect to the FAT16, currently we are not using the FAT16. FAT32, the default file or the maximum file size that is supported is 4 GB. That means, let's say, if we actually format a pen drive or a kind of storage with respect to FAT32, now if we have a file size, now let's say there is a file size which is more than 4 GB or a 5 GB. We cannot copy that in terms of FAT32 file or the storage, because the maximum kind of file size that is supported by the file system, that is FAT32, is only 4 GB. So this is where the restriction will come in. So if we talk about the NTFS, then it is 16 exabytes. If we talk about the ext2 or the kind of file systems that are used on Linux, or ext2, 3 or 4, then that varies from 16 GB to 2 terabytes. So based on the file system also, the maximum kind of file storage that can be stored on the storage or the kind of store that can be used will be restricted. And also with respect to the kind of operating system support, if we talk about FAT16 or FAT32, then these are usually supported by all the operating systems like Windows, it may be Unix or the Linux distributions or Mac OS or the Solaris. So this is the default kind of file system which is supported by most of the operating systems. But if we talk about NTFS, this is mainly the file system with respect to the Windows, starting from Windows NT. So if we want to use the kind, or we want to access the kind of operating file system on the different platforms, let's say Unix have inbuilt kind of feature with respect to accessing NTFS. But if you want to access this kind of file systems onto the different operating systems, because as these are natively supported by the Windows, then this can be accessed using the third-party drivers. Now, let's say we maybe already observed these in most of our day-to-day use. Now, if you have a Windows NTFS file system, if we want to access the same in terms of onto the Linux or onto the Mac operating system, then we need to install the third-party drivers like the NTFS 3.0 on Linux, or the kind of Paramount or the Paragos kind of drivers on Mac OS. So these kind of drivers will be used to access these kind of file systems. So again, if we talk about ext2, 3 or 4, these are specifically designed for Linux, but this may not be again accessible on the Windows. Again, we need to have some third-party drivers or third-party access if we want to have access with respect to the file systems that are of Unix on Windows. So this is how the different file systems architecture can be compared. And the other things we have are the virtual file systems, where there's an abstraction layer on top of the file system. So this will allow the client applications generally to access different type of the files in a uniform way. Now, let's say if we talk about the access to the local and network storage devices without the client application, then we can use this kind of virtual file systems in Windows or Mac, so that these applications can directly access the file systems, treating them as a local kind of file systems. So this is how the virtual file systems can be mapped with respect to the kind of drivers installing onto the kernel or to the operating system thing, so that we can do the kind of instructions. Now, let's say if you talk about the kind of environment we are using, which will be dealing with respect to like the VirtualBox or the kind of VMware kind of thing. So these also support the virtual file systems, where these make an abstraction on the main operating system, so that the operating system inside the VMs can also be accessed, or the VM can also have access to the main operating system. So this is how the virtual file system can be used.